Hi, everybody. Still working on that intro. Jersey Droz, cartoonist and teaching artist. All the information that you need to know about me is right below, where you can support me on Patreon and where you can see everything that I make. I have an RSS feed that collects all the stuff I do, whether I post it on social media or other places. All my podcasts, all the art that I post, it all happens there. So what am I doing today? Well, last week I did a watercolor painting. Horse. Can you see? Do I have it? I don't have it in here. I thought I brought it downstairs with me, but I guess not. I guess it's elsewhere. Well, actually, I have it right here. Here's the painting I did. On watercolor paper, pencil to clip studio paint, inked on paper, and then watercolored in analog. In the description for this video, you can catch the link to watch that video, watch that painting come together. Now I'm going to try to paint it in Clip Studio Paint. So off we go. What I did is I made a flats layer. I actually did digital flats. And in Clip Studio Paint, I have this set to be a reference layer so that I can, even if I'm on a watercolor layer, and I use my magic wand. What is this? Actually, it's called the Auto Select tool in Clip Studio Paint. It's not the magic wand. Even if I'm on my watercolors layer, if I tap anywhere where there's a flat color on the flats layer, it's automatically going to select that area. So now I can take my watercolor brushes that I purchased from Ray Frenden, frenden.com, Frenden. And I'm going to start with her hair. And if you remember, if you were here for last week's stream, I did her hair with a different kind of watercolor. I used these Crayon d'Arche watercolor crayons, which you can see right there on the screen. So I am going to just like grab the color off of her hair here. And with my watercolor brush, I'm going to go in and start rubbing in on a transparent layer. Just as I would as if I was working on paper. We'll see if I can get this done in under an hour. That's another piece of the test that I'm doing here. Seeing how fast each one goes to determine which method will come out supreme for future comics projects. Because actually, what counts against this is I've already done. How long do the flats take me? I'd have to look at my time tracker, but I'm pretty sure the flats took me like a half hour at least. Slightly darker. You see me like really rush around on this. I'm really racing the clock. Get out of my way, Windows. And over to the blue. Slightly bright. I can grab some of that brighter pink. You can see that Frenden's brushes do have a little bit of that watercolory texture in them. Right? Like when you get up close. See how it does a better job of replicating what a watercolor brush does on paper than what a lot of digital watercolor brushes I've used in the past. And already I'm beginning to see one of the downsides of streaming working in Clip Studio Paint as I zoom in and out, right? Because like when I was doing this on analog, you saw the whole painting. Although you weren't able to see as clearly what I was doing. I guess trade-offs, trade-offs, trade-offs. Pick one of the darker blues from there. Oh, we gotta get the tail. There we go. Save. Okay, so now turn on my flats layer again, magic wand tool or auto select tool. And now I'm going to go to my scanned watercolor palette that I made. So I took my 12 pan palette that I painted this with last time. I printed out or painted up a palette on watercolor paper, scanned it in to the computer, so now I can just sample off of this. And let me grab, that looks like the gray I want. Where's my purple? There's my purple. I have to say this is going a bit faster. I'm trying to like check myself for confirmation bias though, because like I know I tell you I won't lie, I want to paint this in Clip Studio Paint because it'd be a lot easier. But I keep coming back to this idea that gosh, it looks so much better when I do it analog. Oh yeah, that you can scan a hand painted palette and be able to use it. Yeah, that is pretty sweet because like the reason I did it is because like you could see all the variation of each of these colors on this palette, right? Like as I zoom in close. So when I'm sampling off of it, I'm not always sampling the same green. And I'm trying to use that to my advantage on this to make this feel a little bit more like a natural drawing. Natural analog paper drawing. So hopefully I'm getting the best of all worlds with this. Turn on the palette again, or turn on the flats layer, get my magic wand tool. Then we're going to do her cloak. What's it? At bit. No, the fur that she has around her shoulders. A quick wash with a big brush. Make some a little bit brighter. There we go. A little bit more purple in there. That bright green to put on along the undo. And right there is another advantage, right? Being able to undo a little bit. I want a lighter. And get my watercolor more opaque out. And I'm going to try to... Why is it making it lighter? I chose a lighter color, that's why. I might have overworked this a little bit. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something terrible. Boom, delete it. Start over. Okay. You know what else is nice? Not having to wait for this to dry. There we go. That's a little bit better. Fur is done. Holy cow. Am I going to finish this before the hour is up? That would be incredible. Back to the layers. Turn on our flats. Select the bones. Back to my palette. Let's find the bone color. Oh, get in there. Place those. Another nice thing about this is I can easily just hit, not tab, I want to hit Q. Okay, I can see where all of my, by switching to quick mask, I can see all the selections I have currently open. Make sure I've got all the areas. Oh, do I have regular watercolor? Now, slightly darker. Where do I want to go for that? In there. What am I thinking? Something like this? Yeah, there we go. Maybe a little bit of red in there too. Ah, that's too much red. There we go. Bones are done. What's next? How about her weird bandages? Too dark. Need a bright yellowish green. Where you be? Bright yellow green. Right there. Hmm. Nah, I might have overworked it. Yeah, I definitely have. Undo a little bit. I think the thing that's tricking me about this is that like I guess I don't realize how simply I'm doing things when I'm doing it on paper. And so when I'm doing it digitally, I'm trying to replicate that by like adding all these layers of color, but you know what? It's just possible that you didn't layer it all that much. There we go. Okay. Missed some spots. You can see some areas here that get in tight where the colors aren't perfectly flatted. I can fix that though. That's not a big deal. Dave, how are we doing on time? 20 minutes in. Now it's time for the straps on her face. Brushes. Go away, brushes. Brown mixed with purple. Whoops. My palette. Zoom, come on, zoom for me. Yeah, got it. Nice tiny brush. There we go. I keep instinctively going to my digital color palette. I need my watercolor color palette. Okay. Now let's do the odd bandagey things on her bones. Oh, there's where we get into trouble. You see how it selected part of the gray on her face? So now I got to go to the flats layer to start doing my selections. And make sure to go back to my watercolor layer. Let's see, where's my other? Right there is what I want. Just one quick, there we go, boom. Don't fuss with it, Jersey. I won't, I'm sorry. I really ought to save soon. And save. Time to go in and shade. Is that the color? I actually did it more of a gray before, didn't I? I think I'm going to start over on that again. Start with a dark purpley gray. Then I'm going to go in with my regular watercolor brush and paint with some transparent pixels, which is to say the equivalent of wetting down the color and sopping some of it up. So I can put a little bit of this light green on there, the yellowish green. Where'd my yellow green go? There it is. My purple, I want a dark purple. What did I just do there? Oh, I selected transparent pixels. That's not what I did. Good enough. Select the little orange studs on her belt. What color orange do I have selected here? Okay. I guess. Really, that's my orange mixed with purple, eh? Okay. And save. Look what I did with the belt on her underside here. I didn't finish painting that in. I need to go back to flats, select all the belts, and let's just hope I can remember what color I used. I suppose I could just like eyedrop what I've got there, but I think I went here. Brush is too tiny. So in the VioZ canvas, I don't know if you notice my Windows menu keeps popping up because on the Z canvas, they're right here on the bottom. You look up at the VioC canvas part of the screen, there's that little Windows button right there. And so my hand keeps accidentally scrubbing on it. Okay. Okay. I start with this. I think I'll start with this bright red for her clubs. A little bit orange. And we'll get in there with purple. I don't know what we're thinking. Just doesn't feel as saturated to me as, well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. Look at the paper one versus that. Feels like there's like a lot more contrast. The values are better, maybe. Much more of a brush. Come on, pen. Work with me. Oh, shame on me. Look at this. This whole area behind her. I have it colored the wrong color there. All right, so what we're going to do is shift select that. I can color this in the proper. There we go. Almost there. She's done. I don't want to. Put a little tiny bit. Really bright blue on there. Oh, wrong brush. Okay, let's do that background now. And I'm going to need a big brush for this. Wet wash. And let's get the green. Need an even bigger brush than that, pal. There we go. Nice simple watercolor brush. I'm going to see. Oh, there. There's some cloudy brushes that Ray Friendon made. I'm going to see how these work. Too big. Working with a pretty light touch right now. I'm coming with some yellow. And then my dark green. I'm using like the most feathery of feathery touches here because like if you press it all hard, look at what you get, right? Yeah, I don't want that. All right, that's good. Now, let's see the rocks. How about the rocks? And I'm at 40 minutes. So like this hypothesis of digital going faster so far seems to be working out well. Add a half hour for flatting. So yeah, actually I'm already over time. That might be enough. All right, now I want a bluish green. And now we're going to go even more blue. I think I might have done it. How did I come in? 42 minutes plus 30 minutes equals 1 hour and 12 minutes. So I'm a little bit over what I spent on it when I did it in traditional watercolors, but we can see the difference here. So 1, 2. Now there's another thing I can do since I have a little bit of extra time. What I'm going to do now is check my values. This is a trick that Tony Cliff showed online a while back, and I really liked it. Is go to layer, what is it? New correction layer, hue, saturation, luminosity. I think that's it, yeah. And then turn the saturation all the way down. And so now I can check my values to see, like, okay, you just squint test at it, see how everything's popping and what's not popping. Like you can see how our eye is like kind of dull. All right. But everything else is looking okay. And then I can just toggle this on and off. I did this a lot when I was working on Boulder and Fleet, and I was using like this very painterly style with it. But because Fleet's all yellow, the bird, it was really hard for me to make sure I was getting good values on her. So actually, I'm going to go now to her eye. And let's get some transparent ink. And I'm just going to get out of my way, Windows menu. Too big. Let's get it smaller. Just want to get a little bit of a white glow in there. And so now when I toggle, oh, I lost my adjustment layer. I must have hit undo. File, or edit. Where's it? Under layer? New correction layer. Okay, yeah, you can see how her eye pops a little bit more now. Right. Save that. And I guess I'll put this up on... I mean, the colors are not exactly the same. I want doing slightly different colors. It's interesting. And let's make an adjustment layer on this. Turn the saturation all the way down. And compare that with this. right? I feel like I achieved a little bit more clarity on the digital one. And then one more advantage that I could get to do this. I go to my inks layer, which I have on transparent pixels. And I can do color holds on here. Oh, look at that. Goofed up a little bit on her. Watercolor brush out again. Oh, yeah, and I totally missed a spot up here. So, and oh, let's get her snort. Let's do a little color hold on her snort here. I just do it with a selection tool. There, I think that's it. So coming in a little bit early this time. So let's see. This will be an opportunity to look at the calendar and see if there's any conflicts next week for when I want to do these live streams. No, there's not. So next week, everybody, I will be streaming at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Central Time, 7 a.m. Pacific Time. So Monday, the 22nd of March, and then Thursday, the 25th of March, same time. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to hit the like button on it wherever you're watching it, whether that's on Twitch or YouTube or Picardo or even Facebook. That helps more people find these streams. I won't lie to you. I'm trying to build an audience for a project that I'm going to do down the road, and it's going to be rendered in this kind of a style. So if you get more people to watch and like this, maybe they will participate in the, what would you say? In supporting the book. I'm going to put a little bit of watercolor here. I think it needs it. Let's grab it from my palette for corn's sake. Also, today at noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, we're going to be streaming the Lean Into Artcast. Me and my buddy Rob Stenzinger, and we're going to talk about being overwhelmed. So if you've ever been overwhelmed with your art, with how much there's to do, overwhelmed with like trying to start a new project, there's too many aspects to it, too many facets. That'll be a fun one to participate in live. And is there any other places to point yet? Nope, just rss.jdros.com takes you to everything that I do. So thanks everybody for hanging out with me and watching. Until next time, I've been Jersey Drozd of jdros.com. I think the next part is I say, okay, bye.